One thing that really, I think, sets me above some of the other candidates for this position, in my current job now with the Department of Agriculture, I work with the Specialty Crop Block Grant and other grants as well. And being able to read and decipher the legal jargon associated with grants kind of carries over to how you would read the West Virginia Code and adhere to what it says. I think that is one of the major things that sets me apart, as well as I had an excellent education from not only Pocahontas County High School but West Virginia Wesleyan College. I think all of that has really prepared me to take on this role.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Price?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I believe my education, as stated earlier, associates in law enforcement, bachelor's in criminal justice, and doctor of jurisprudence from John Marshall, and the jobs I've held, one being judicial law clerk, where I work directly for the judge. I've had positions where I've had to interpret the law, I've had to read the law, I've had to apply the law. I believe that I'm the most qualified to be able to do that out of the candidates today. And temperament, you have to not be quote unquote a hothead, and you can't be too limber about it. You need to be middle of the road. You need to be calm so that you think clearly when hearing and maintaining cases and taking evidence on cases. You have to be able to set parties and organizations apart from the facts. You have to apply the facts as they're presented to you and the evidence that apply to those facts to make your decision. And you need to maintain a calm, clear conscience and be able to apply the laws as written by the West Virginia Code to those facts. And I believe I'm the most qualified for that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sharp?
Well, I believe I bring, like I stated in my opening statement, my 15 years of community service, not only in the rescue squad, but on the mail route that I carried in Burlington for over 10 years. I've been out in the community and I see, what our community needs, the corrections, and just being, a staple in the community, you see these kind of things, and I know that honesty, integrity, all those things are a huge part of this office, and I'm confident that I have demonstrated those in every office that I have, every aspect of the community that I've been involved in. So I will bring that to this office, and I think that sets me apart. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wilfong?
Yes, as your current elected magistrate, everybody needs to know that courtroom is your courtroom. It's not the prosecutor's courtroom. It's not the defense counsel's courtroom. It's not on the civil case. It's not the plaintiffs or defendants. It's your courtroom. You have to set a tone in your courtroom. So I do go in the courtroom. I am, do not have an opinion before I go in that courtroom. I read every single file before I go in. I prepare for all of my cases. I sit down and bring my law books in on the bench while I'm in the courtroom, listen to the testimony, and when you do have pro se people, meaning people who represent themselves, they like to talk over top of each other, and you do have to tell them one at a time. If you do not quit talking while the other one's talking, I will hold you in contempt. You have to be firm like that in the courtroom. And it's not picking on nobody, because if you let one person talk over the other, you're going to have an out-of-control courtroom. And that's not what we have. And I don't let the state or the defense tell me how to do my sentencing. I listen to their recommendations, and I make the determination what the sentencing should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly?
What I feel makes me qualified for this position in Division I is, number one, I have 3.5 years of experience. I've had 3.5 years of experience in training through the Supreme Court at different conferences that they've held. I've went to domestic violence conferences. I'm always pushing to learn more. I think knowledge is the key in anything we do, and I have the desire to continue to learn every single day. My college education was through criminal justice. I feel like I'm a listener. I can sit and listen to the facts. I can listen to both sides of the party. I like to take all the information in before I make any kind of preconceived notions about what has happened. I want to hear all the information. I feel like I demand respect from all parties involved. From the day I walked in that office, I knew this is a position and you're the person in charge. You have to be firm. You have to stand your ground. There's going to be people that think that they can come in and walk all over you. There's going to be people that think that they can make you feel like you haven't done your job because you have done your job. By being consistent and impartial, you know, that's a big thing in this office, and it's a quality that I'm very proud that I have. I believe in making people responsible for their actions. And lastly, I'm a mother, so when there's an argument in the courtroom, sometimes you feel like you have an argument between your kids, and you have to be able to step in and break that argument up without making a scene, and do it in a judicial light. Thank you.